Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I wasn't sure you were the one.
Hello,
I just said,
don't mind me, Jerry. Is my office laptop. I think there's a way they've customized it.
Sorry, is this
what's up? Yeah, this is Obanla.
Hey, my brother.
How your side now?
I do, my brother. How you doing now? What's happening?
My brother, with the push up, small.
I'm doing well.
How Lagos now?
Lagos there now. You don't run Lagos.
Brother.
No, Lagos.
ABS push me. Now ABS push me come up from Lagos.
Great. Good. What progress looks like?
Brother, APJ is fine. We're pushing it. Every day we are trying to walk away from the cows and separating the cows from the people. It's so pathetic here that on the main express you see cow eating grass and you're like, where is it going on? I'm not joking. On the main express of all these airports, I don't know how they get them to those covered side and in the middle, all those big coverts demarcation in between. And you see all those like close to 100 cows eating grass there. I'm like, how did they even cross to get to this place in the first place? They say I've not seen anything that they go all the way to Secretariat, Aso Rock. I said, for real?
Cow.
Yes,
Malu.
cow. Malu. Yes, so Malu. As in, sometimes I was like, as in 2023. Yeah, no problem. So you just differentiate yourself. If you are driving now, it's not only the Okada or the Mara. You need to watch out for cows. As in, you really watch out for cows. I'm not joking. It can be that bad sometimes. So you literally have to wait for them to pass or try to boycott them if you can.
Senior citizens.
As in, they are full senior citizens. Full senior citizen. How your side now work?
Brother, it's good though. It's good though. Asked us to create a basket of insights. So take health data and analyze it and create insights to share with. And imagine imagine the Minister of Health is appointed today. What data will you want to show him? Oh yeah, go and source for data and analyze it. And they work with them, and give me so I don't scratch my head since.
As in, that's a lot of scratching,
Guy.
Because the point is, there's no even a data on itself.
That is the thing.
So
sourcing the data first. Whether you find accurate one, clean one.
But it won't make any sense. The routes they're asking you to go by it. Because from my own end, we do something like that, but we tend to do it desk research and we go to field. So we are not trying to compare what the desk research is saying, which is more of the literature review, and what the field you can get from the field is saying. So if you say you want to gather those kind of data to analyze and make reasonable decision for people to work with, I think it will not be accurate. To be very frank, it will not be that accurate. The only way you can get for, I don't know, maybe NHIS, maybe they do have, or even though they have, would they be willing to give to you? That's another thing entirely different. Because one thing I've noticed from this place is everybody is trying to hoard so many information as possible, trying to give you the one that is not relevant.
Yes.
To work with, as in, is that bad? So, but because over the years, my company has worked with all these things, so we go from top to work with those PAMSEC. So they don't have a choice. So imagine the Minister for Agriculture telling them like, okay, go and make those PAMSEC of Institute for maybe crops
IITA
and
or something.
exactly. So they don't have a choice because they know it's coming directly from their boss. So that's another way you can go by it. But going online to source for those data, at the end of the day, you're just going to use probably foreign data, take little of the one and just trying to bring it together if it's going to work. So at the end of the day, you're not going to make any very meaningful decision, or they're not going to use it to make any meaningful decision. So the best way to go is they need to go to the field. You can get those raw data from people and now do analysis of it. But it's quite expensive. And this phase has taught me that that time that you'll be saying you want to do research, and I know that research is quite expensive.
Brother.
It's very expensive, but the long run benefits outweigh the cost right now. So that's why those people are doing it, and they're making headway because they're not making decisions based on those numbers, and they're using it to actually scale in the industry. So that aside, IJ, sorry, Madam Chinoye, our president. So where do we go from here? Sorry, we've been talking about ourselves. Let's talk about you guys.
Yeah, so I think maybe you should give us them till 1:15. Then we have more people on the meeting, and we can start.
Okay. Because I'm hearing people after many months. This is Oyinlola.
That's a shame.
Yeah, Oyinlola.
So, Obanla, senior man.
There's nothing senior there. Can't you see your face here? Your face is shining.
Good afternoon. IJ, good afternoon.
Good evening.
Hello, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you guys?
Good.
So how's the day class been going? Because I've not, since I stopped the SQL, I have not joined ever since. Chinoye, so how's it been going? How's the attendance?
It's been good. The attendance, we are improving. Then since SQL, I think since SQL we've done Power BI. So yeah, this is the next after SQL.
You have not done Python.
No. So Python is coming later this year, but we're trying to mix it up so that people don't get bored out of their mind. So
are you sure it's the right thing?
Sorry?
Are you sure it's the right thing, to be very frank?
Yeah, so a question like that came up, right? But at the time you had already responded that you would be available to do this for us, so we couldn't cancel. And so we couldn't cancel, and it was like, okay, it will be okay, just continue with it. So that's why we are doing this right now.
The point is not even about me, to be very frank. It's about you guys and the flow is supposed to, or the flow we are being asked, or the flow we pass through. Because when you talk about R itself, the interface and the stuff is not that friendly. Or if you have been exposed to Python, it's like giving a good, like a cushion when you're not seeing R, because the whole process itself is not that inviting. So even Dr. Francis will tell you that we rather teach people Python before exposing them to R and SQL, so than teaching people SQL, Power BI, and exposing them to R before Python. I don't know how it's going to work, but let's just see. It's not about me, because anytime you give me to come and teach you guys, I will just create time for it. So I just know that, okay, maybe after the SQL, maybe I'm going to take use it Python or stuff. So I just have to do revision because my work is not too tailored to big data anymore. It's more of a desk research. So I have to do a lot of revision on my own part to do it. But let's just see how it goes. And if it doesn't work, and if like people are finding it a bit not to adjust to, maybe we can stop it. So if people find it interesting, we will continue.
Okay. Yeah, we can.
So can
try
we
that.
start now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I don't know where everybody's from. Where they are presently. I'm in Nigeria. So good afternoon to everybody in Nigeria. I know IJ is not in Nigeria. Sorry about the name you're seeing there is the company's name, so I'm using the company system. So my name is Olumide. I don't know, people that knows me knows me, but people that don't know me, my name is Olumide, just Olumide. So today we'll be talking about HAR. I just want to take some assumptions like, have we all downloaded the HAR, or I should put you guys through the downloading process? Because you need to have it to practice. It is very, very, very important because it's not that friendly. When you say sensitive, SQL is key sensitive, but HAR is extremely case sensitive, and you need to go by certain rules to be able to work effectively with it. So should I assume that everybody has downloaded the HAR software to work with, or we should go through the process of the downloading process? So I'm expecting the response.
You can go through it for me as myself.
Okay.
I'm moment to go through it.
Okay, that's fine. So let me just share. I've downloaded it already, so I'm just going to, this is my screen. So I think Chinoye shared the link to the process. So let me just click on it. So this is HAR itself. There is HAR and there's a HAR Studio. So before they used to, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
So before, it used to be only R. Where is this whiteboard? It's been a while I use this thing, so apology. Trying to see where is this whiteboard. So can somebody show me where this whiteboard is? Okay, let me just hold on 1 minute. So sure, let me just share my screen. Share my screen. Okay. So can you see my whiteboard? So HAR itself, before they used to use only HAR, and this HAR is just like the command prompt. You know, these are our command prompt. When you come here and you type your CMD, the command prompt that shows up, that's the HAR normally you get before. So when you go to where this HAR is, where is this? So you're downloading two things. You are going to download the zip folder, which is this download HAR, and later on we now come and download the HAR Studio. So the R is just like what was it called? The command prompt. So over the time, because it's an open source, people tend to come in and develop the GUI interface, the graphical user interface, which is the HAR Studio. So when you download it, that's when you're going to see something that looks like this. Sorry, I'm going to clean all these things over time. So it's just practice. So that's what you're going to see. So you're going to see this interface, and think it's going to come like this. So this is the GUI, the graphical user interface for HAR itself. So once you download, I think it's quite easy. Once you just follow the YouTube. Once you download, let me see my downloaded. Maybe I still have it here. Okay, I think this is it. So you just follow this process. Yes. Can you confirm? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Oh, okay. So you just follow this prompt, and you download the GUI. It will automatically download the GUI. Sorry, the command prompt, and later on download the HAR Studio for you to be able to use. That's just it. Then again, there was a video too that was sent to YouTube video. If you can follow the YouTube video too, it just self-explanatory to the whole process. So I think okay, let me just put it this way. Is anybody having issue when he's downloading it? So let me pick it up from there, because I can't download it again and install it because I've already downloaded it. It's not going to work. So does anybody have an issue downloading and installing? So we can use that one as a learning guide to teach others. Or I should just proceed with the teaching.
I think I have R on my Mac. I don't know if there's HAR Studio for Mac.
It's when you're downloading it, you need to specify. There is for Mac, there is for Windows, for Linux, all those operating software.
Yeah,
so because it's an open source, so people are coming to just build on it. So there's the one for Mac there. So you just have to, once you go to the website, you need to select the one that is applicable to your operating system. So I think the one I send is for Windows. So you just need to go a little bit step backward, on the website. I think you should be able to see the one that will specify maybe you want to download for Mac, for Windows, for Linux, depending on your operating system. So you should be able to do that. Once you download it, follow the same prompts for the YouTube, or you can even go to YouTube and say, process of downloading HAR or HAR Studio for Mac. So you see somebody have done something like that before, you can use it. So that's fine, Kolade?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, any other person? Before I proceed, so I'll just take silent as a consent, so I'll move on from here. So basically, our let me show you my screen. Okay, yes. This is my one. Sure. So HAR itself is more or less like a statistical tool. And again, I want to assume that we all have basic statistics knowledge. What I mean basic statistics knowledge, so you should be able to do your mean median mode. You should be able to know how to calculate these things. So because HAR is more or less used for analyzing statistics itself. So you can even use it for, okay, you've not done on Python, you can use it to do your regression or modeling, training data or testing the data and things like that. So when you get to Python, it will take you through all those processes too. So you can also use HAR for it, but and when you now get to what is called deployment, the reason why you're doing all those what's it called, modeling is I made mention of it when I was teaching SQL. Like when you go to your Netflix and you see that you want to watch a film and they are showing you certain films, and you're seeing something like 98% match. So what they are doing is they have a robust database. And every time you watch any film on Netflix, so it tends to update the database they have. And over time, you're able to judge or predict that you like more of action film, or you like more of Yoruba film, or people like us that are close to the north, we like the Hausa film. Do you get? So it will be predicting for you. So you will see some things, you will say 65% match. So it's actually doing what is called modeling. So it's taking data that is already inbuilt based on your click and the film you're watching. Is getting data from it and is updating it to suit your own taste and is predicting something for you. So you can also use R to do that. But when it now comes to the area of deployment, it will be very hard for you to deploy those kind of modeling you build using R. So that's why people tend to use Python when it comes to, at the end of the day, they know that they're going to do deployment of all those data they've analyzed. So do you get? But when it comes to statistical analysis, you are more into research, like what IJ was talking earlier on. So it's better to use R, because R gives like a robust details of all these things when doing it. So you see that one over time as to progress in the course. You will see it, that it will give you like a more comprehensive details of how to handle these things. And again, for R, you know that you have different data types that we always try to specify. What's it called? We always try to specify doing our our SQL, that we have character, we have the number, we have the integers, and we have this. However, for these, it's being just split into two aspects. We have the qualitative aspects, the quantitative aspect of it, and the qualitative aspects. So who can sort of differentiate these two for me? Sorry, the spelling may not be direct. I'm just trying to manage. So this is quantitative data type, and this is qualitative data type. So who can differentiate between the two? I think you've done, what's it called? You've done SQL, you've done Excel, you've done Power BI. So you should be able to know the difference between these two things. So who can just give it a try? How can you know this data that I have is quantitative and this data I have is qualitative? Hello, can you hear me? Or you want me to be calling him? I'm waiting. Oh.
Okay, so quantitative data types or data they deal with numbers, so you can actually measure them, do your calculations or whatever. But qualitative is more of subjective. So you can say, oh, this set of people are fair, gives to the characteristics of the data. So they are not numbers, basically. So quantitative are usually figures, data around figures, while qualitative are more of descriptive and are not, figures.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was a nice one. So like the person said, sorry, I'm not seeing the screen because I'm sharing my whiteboard. So this is more or less like for quantitative data, you can actually do your arithmetic operation on it. Meaning that you can do your multiplication, your addition, your subtraction and things. But for qualitative data, you can only do what is called count. So that's where your strongly agree male or females comes in. And like the person said, is subjective. Do you get? So sometimes when you're doing, you want to go and conduct an experiment or you're doing a research and you need to ask questions. And from there, you can say that, okay, this kind of people is saying that by doing this, it's tailored towards yes, and this one is tailored towards no. So you just aggregate the yes and the no together and you do your count. And you said 49% of people agree to this and the rest of them did not agree to it. Just like what's called the international observer for our election came back to us and they are saying that there was a lot of malpractice, there was a lot of blah, blah, blah story that the election was not fair. So it just based on going on the street, asking people, oh, Chinoye, what do you think about this election? You now start saying all this story. I don't like it. I was not allowed to vote. I was disenfranchised, blah, 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 blah. So your response is tailored towards no. And they take those responses and say, thank you for your honest opinion. They move to another person. And before you know it, they aggregate everything together and they said, over 65% of people said the election was unfair, while the rest of people say the election was fair. So they will just conclude that based on this election INEC conducted, I think majority of people say it is unfair. So that's what we call a qualitative data. And once that one, you can only do count on it. There's nothing else you can do. So because you can't minus strongly agree from agree and things like that, you can only do count for the stronger agree, or the neutral and the rest of it. So that's it. So for what was it called? For R, you can only categorize it into these two aspects. So for this one, you now see what is called, you call them a string when you're trying to analyze some things about this. We'll go further in it to explain this. So I think that's all. Let's just go into, okay, let me also do this thing so that just to do a recap of what we've been learning so far in our data club. So we're able to understand that as a data analyst, so as a data analyst, you should know how to do what is called extraction. You should know how to do what is called your analysis. And you should be able to do what we call a visualization. So what tools can you use to do an extraction as a data analyst?
SQL.
Great, SQL. So which other tools? So when you want to do your analysis, what kind of tool can you use to do your analysis?
Python.
Great. Which other one?
R.
Okay.
Excel.
Great. Excel. When you talk of your visualization, what tools can you use?
Tableau, Power BI, Excel.
Great. So you should be able to familiarize yourself with this. So you've been taught the SQL aspect of it. And for analysis purposes, you've been taught about Excel. Now you're on R. Then for visualization, you've done what is called Power BI. So you can see that even when you're seeing people advertising it online, they are mixing all these things up. And one thing you see that is mostly common is they will take SQL, they will take probably Power BI or Tableau, and they will take Python, and there will be Excel. So they are going to start with Excel. They will teach you SQL, teach you probably Power BI and Tableau. And if you now want to go further, like a data scientist that want to be doing modeling, training of data, so they will now expose you to what is called Python and R. So you need to have a good fundamental knowledge of the flow, because basically as a data analyst, though you don't have any much problem with extracting, but sometimes you depend on your database administrator to give you this data. But your good understanding of it, you just tell the database administrator, please, can you give me what is called the rights? Can you give me access to the database? And that's where we talk about the data query language and data manipulation language. So all what you just need is your data query language, which is your data query language, which is your select. So you know what you need from the database, and you just go there, query it out, and you get it. Then you start doing your cleaning. After cleaning, you start doing your analysis on it. Then you visualize based on your insights. So this is just like a recap of the whole knowledge or skills you need to possess as a data analyst in the long run. So let me say. Let me just go to the SQL itself. What did I use to? Okay. Sorry, can you see my arrow now? So let me just clean all these things out. So let's just start afresh so it doesn't look so bulky. So I just want to start something afresh for everybody to work with. So normally this is what you'll be seeing once you download your R. Is an interface like this, and this interface, this is where this upper part is where you'll be putting in the command prompts. And if you can see from here, it's called Cursor.
Am I the only person
Let's just stay in your other screen.
Oh, sorry. I thought I'm sharing my entire. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, so once you download it, it's going to come this way, like this. So this is where the upper side of it is where you put your command. You can just do your 2 + 3. And to issue the command is 2 ways. You can see what is called run here, and you can see the response downward here. You can see the result here. Cursor, then the downward part. Let me just try and clean this. It's not clean. Do you get? So if I do 2 × 8 × 9, you can do it 2 ways. You can click on this run button, or you can click Control Enter. It's to still give you the same results. Can you see the outcome or the output of it downward here?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just the basic thing for R here. Then 2, before we proceed, in R, there's what we call assignment operator. Let me just put it here. You know, if you want to do this thing, you just put, this is for command, comment, assignment. So instead of you using equals to, for R, you do things like this. This is your assignment operator. So if I want to assign A2 to A, I will just do this. And I'll click my control, enter. So anytime I call for A, it will give me 2. You can see the 2 here. So this is where the response is always coming from. Though you can also do your equals to, but it's not, can I say, the conventional way, or can I say the design way for assigning operator in R. So they use this as the assignment operator. So the good thing about this is you can do the left or the right. So I can also do this. I'll put 10 here and I'll click on it. Sorry, supposed to be 10 B. So the first one is called the left assignment, while this one is the right assignment. So if I click on this and I say, what is the value of B? It will give me 10. But if I say C, 10 or 11 or 12 is equals to C, it will not accept it. But I can say C is equals to 12, it will accept this when I call for C. So you can see the difference between the two. Like, it's better to go by the conventional way of what R is designed, or the way it was designed from the onset, to be using this left or right assignment operator. So henceforth, if you see me using this just like an assignment, this is equals to this, and this is equals to this. So also there's all these arithmetic operation you can also do in R. So for your multiplication, so for this is what you do for, you can use this as your raised to power. Sorry. Can use this. Let me put a comment here. Can actually use this as raised to power, or you can use this. So what that meant is I can say 2 . If I do this, it's going to give me 4. And if I do 2, let's see, not come out. Raised to power this, sorry. It's still going to give me 4. So this is 2 raised to power 2. So you can use the double star button, or you can use the what's it called? I don't know what this sign is called. You can all see this sign. So it all means raised to power of 2. So anyone you want to go by it. And you can do anything arithmetic operation just with this interface alone without assigning anything. So we can do square root, square roots. Before we get to this place, let's for be doing some basic things, because there are some, what was it called? There are some functions, embedded functions in R. If you have been taught Python, this one will have been very, very easy for you to just grab. So just like your Excel, you know, in Excel, you can use VLOOKUP. When you say equals to V, all those things prompt out for you. So even in how to, there are embedded functions already for you to use. So, and for you to use these functions, you need to call a certain library for you to be able to use those functions successfully. And one of those library is a very good one is called the tidyverse. Let me put it here. We call it tidyverse. Another one is we call it DeepLayer. So another one, but these are the two major important ones. And again, and if you come to this place, I don't know, from your side, you will, from my own side is on the right hand side, you will see what is called package. So these are the inbuilt functions. So you can just click on all these things. And if you see from here, from my left hand side, where the response or the result is always coming out from, it will tell you that maybe it's been installed or not. If I check this one and I click on another one, you can see it's installing on its own. So if you're actually looking for any functions to install, you just come to this place and you can just type it. Probably I'm typing ggplot. So if you click on this, like, it will just start installing for you. You can see it's inbuilt and stuff like that. I've already installed some of all these packages. So if you're looking for any packages, you can come here, or you do it this other way. You just use this command prompt. Sorry. It's called install packages. So assuming I want to install this tidyverse, I'll just come here, install packages, and I'll put in quotes because it's a string, you need to put it in quote. Tidyverse. And I'll just click mine. You can see from this down part is loading. Just look at this down part where the cursor is. If you see this red something coming up, that means don't interrupt. So it will start loading the packages. And once it's done loading, you will know from there. This is how to install any new package. Or you come to this right hand side and you search for, so far you know the package, search for it, then you click on install, then it's going to install for you. So I think I've already installed. Hopefully it's still trying to install because this red thing is up. So I will just call, if you want to use, assuming this tidyverse has already been installed, and I want to put it in into memory, I will just call what is called library. I'll call this library. So you can see from the down part, it has already been installed already. So uninstall. So you can see tidyverse successfully unpacked and MD5 sum checked. So now to put it in the memory that I want to use it now. So you now put library tidyverse. And that's it. So I want to pause here. Any question at all? Any question at all? Are you guys following me? Or it looks too difficult? Or can you hear me at all? Let me even start from there.
Yeah, we can hear you. You're following.
Okay. So it looks strange, Abby. It's not like SQL that you see select.
No, absolutely not.
But the point is just try and download. At least you always get the recorded video and you can always go back to it. So just take it step after the other. It's not something that you just jump into and you move on it. So it's one step after the other. Can we proceed? So okay, if I want to now say, I want to label name equals to this. If I want to give, assign a character or a string to something, I need to put it in quotes. So I will just put Ali. Then I can call for name to give me Ali. So again, if you now want to name like a series of things in, I don't know, don't let me be mentioning Python because you've not done it. If I want to mention, I want to assign name. I want to create like a small database, like a small data set for us to work with. So this name now, if I say name, normally in Python, this should work. If I assign this thing, it's going to work. When in R, it's not going to work. Because R needs to see it like, he's seeing this thing as individual. You can see here, he only bring out Ali. And he was not expecting anything apart from Ali to be assigned to name. But if you now want to assign more than one thing to a particular variable, you need to put what is called C. You're saying combine all these factors together and put it inside what name. So this is when it will now work. So if I now say name now, it will now bring out everybody. Same thing with the numbers. If I say score, if I assign like this, 1, 2, and 3 to normally the score, this also in Python will work, but in R it's not. You have to still put the C in there for it to work. So if I now say score, it's now giving my number. So those are the differentiating factor from people that design R and people that work on Python. So there is some distinctive factor you just need to put into consideration, but also there are some similarities like functions that they're already embedded in it. A very good example in Python is these are pandas, NumPy, and things like that. Those are the things that you need to call on to get your data in form of that you only see it in form of what is called the pivots in Excel. So once you call that functions, it will arrange it in form of Excel format. Same thing we can do for this one too. So this is just some basic tools or function you need to put into consideration. Also, you cannot do like I did this like this. Okay, let me say A is equals to this. See, this is Mohammed. Now say B. Equals to normally, if I do this in Python, it will work. You will just see it together, like there will be no space in between, but you can do like something like this. Space, space, they call it concat. B, it will work. But in R, it will not work. You can't connect two strings together in R. So I can't put A plus B to give me, it won't work. To tell you, can you see the non-numeric argument to binary operation? Because this plus is a binary operation. You're now putting non-numeric against it. So he's not going to see it as Mohammed, Hamid. He's seeing like, I'm expecting a number here and a number here. So it's not going to work. So those are the distinctive thing or factor you need to put into consideration when working with R. Also, there's what we call absolute. So if I have C is equals to this, I say minus 17, and I want to get the absolute. Who can tell me what's the absolute of a particular number? What's the absolute of minus 17?
17.
Exactly. So if I now want to get the absolute of this number, I just need to put this, like A, B, C. So have I run this? Yes. So A, B, C to C. So once I run it, it's going to give me 17. Same thing if I do D equals to this, and I put it in a combined way, and I say 2, 8, minus 9, minus 13, 0. If I do D, if I want to get the absolute of all these numbers, I can just do this too. D. So it will remove all the negative aspect of it. Also, there are some basic things you can also do with this our R. We can do our square root, square. So sometimes this thing will just pop out. You can just tap the tab button. Square root of 4, it gives us 2. There's what we call our pi. We always use give us our 3.1 something. So I can do what did I do here? It's called D. So we've already called. So we can do, let's say D. Let's see, maybe this one will work with our pi. So you can see it. So what I just did here is, we've assigned D to these values, 2, 8 minus this and this. So what it just did is just multiplying our 3.14, which is the value of our pi, times the value of all the D's. So let's see, maybe if we do absolute of this value, maybe to remove all the negative aspect away from it. PD, yes, it does. So those are the things you can just manipulate to play with what is called R itself. And there's what we call round. I don't know how I'm going to put it. I think, yes, in, what's it called? When you're doing your decimal and you want to round something up, so you can say round maybe 234.887. So it's going to round it up to the nearest, is this 10th number? So you're going to take this one off. Also, you can also signify like, okay, I don't want you to do for everything. I want you to do at a certain break at that certain point and round it up. So that's when what is called digit comes in. You say round, let's use the same value, 234.897 into digits is equals to 1. Yes, you can see is equals to 1. You can see it's going to round it up to the nearest 1 after the decimal. So if you specify 2 here, you can see the result. This is where the result is coming out. So if you specify 2, sorry, if you specify 2 here, what's it given? It's 1 gives this. What should be for real? I don't know. I'm thinking it's supposed to run this to 9, 8. Oh, do you get? Okay, let me do it this way. Let me do 5. It should be more clearer. Because what we did that time is, because this one is 9, it ran it up to 0 and had it to this 1 to 8. So that's why it's still giving the same value, even though when we put 2 at it. So now if you want to do 2 decimal places, 3 decimal places, this is when this round up comes in and you specify 2 decimal places, 3 decimal places, and things like that. And you can also do minus. So minus will now be before the decimal. So if you now want to do minus 1, so it's going to do before the decimal. So because this is the way we have been taught in university, after the decimal is plus and before the decimal is a negative. So you're counting from 4, which is minus 1, minus 2, which is 3, then minus 3, which is 2, from this value we have here. And this one will now be positive when it comes to decimal places, and this one will now be the negative aspect of it. So that is and there's what we call float too. When you say floor, floor is just going to round it up to the nearest whole number. It's not cool. I was thinking 2.8 is going to give us 2. And when you say ceiling, so it's going to round it up to the nearest whole number. And when you talk about ceiling, it's going to take it up. So if we do 2.3, it's going to take it up to 3. So these are the things you can play with, and you can also look more. I think when you go to this place, about check updates, you can see RStudio documents. So you can download documents that you can play with here to understand in-depth things to work with here. So any question before we move to some basic technical things that we need to know here? Any question, any comment, any addition? Is this, or okay, which one do you prefer more? Is it you prefer SQL or you prefer R? Though they're not doing the same thing, but if it's Python, I will have said which one do you prefer? Do you prefer Python or do you prefer R? To me, I prefer Python because I just felt this thing, the user interface is not that friendly to me. But it's a very good tool to know, at least have a good understanding about it. So when the need comes for you to use it, you know how to know go about manipulating it. Any question?
Okay, so my question is around the commands. Is there somewhere we can access to have a list of all these commands in the RStudio and what they do?
Okay, that's why I say help RStudio documents. So you take it online so you can download it.
Yeah, I just did that. I see a lot of documents, so I'm not sure which is which.
New release, what's it called? Installation guides, product guide, version connect, manager teams, solution, admin guide, user guide. Do you get? These are the ones you can use. Then this is when you want to document, then all documents. Let's click on all these all documents. Can you see my website?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see this one, what is here. Session. Server user. Consider some gives a code. My script. Just the I don't know. I think it was Francis that forwarded this thing to us. But once I'm able to get where all those things are, I think I will share it in the group. I've not come here myself. Yeah, I've not come here myself. I think Dr. Francis shared something with us. Actually, when I check my archive, I should be able to have it. That you can just work with, just like what was it called? They call it cheat. So just the user guide, you can easily scan through and say, oh, okay, I need this, I need this, I need this. And it's very self-explanatory. So once I get that, I will share it in the group.
Okay.
Yeah. So any other question concern can we proceed? Yes. So you can also do your normal main media mode on all these things. So I think the one we have here, we have score. So we can do our main of score. We can do the median of score. You get. So another good thing I want to point out here is assuming we have a series of numbers that have like sometimes you come across some numbers that have no applicable. Assuming we have grade that has this value, like combine 12. Table. So what? Five, 2, 6, 7. Yes, does. So if we do grade, we expect to see all these things. So if you want to now do the mean of grade, what happened? Why is it not working? Because these are just normal numbers now. Why is it not working? So why is it not working? Why is it that we can't get the mean for all these numbers? Because we did for score and it gave us same numbers. Why are we not getting mean for this grade? Because it's saying argument is not numerical, logical. Return any.
The any, what's all the any there? Maybe it's causing the problem.
Exactly. So the point is you can't do arithmetic operation on empty cell or a cell that is giving error. You get that stuff when you're doing your working with Excel. No, because if the Excel is too large and you're changing the data type, it happens a lot in dates, and that date can give a lot of problem. It was yesterday I was doing some little revision and I noticed that each country have their own specification or pattern of dates. And Excel is so, how can I put it? It's so good to the extent that any country you have, because you're connected to the internet, is making use of those formats of those dates in that country. So Nigeria starts with day, month, and year. But in US, they start with month, day, and year. So imagine you're getting a data from US or you downloaded some data online. And the way when you put it on your Excel, because Excel now recognize that you are in Nigeria, and this is data that is coming. So you will now see that there is sort of an error in the date formats. Some will align because it's saying maybe 5th of May, 2013. Do you get? Because you can see the first one as the day or month and the second one. So imagine you're now having 25. There's no month that is a number in 25. The month stop at 12. So it now gives error. So same thing with this one. So he has seen it that I'm only going to do calculation, arithmetic calculation on quantitative data. Any qualitative data in between, I'm going to crop out error. So how can you resolve these things? So there's other things you can do. Just have to, in what's it called? In Python, they'll call it drop. This one, they call it remove. So you just do your na dot remove equals to true. Sorry, it's not this na, it's this na. You can see how sensitive it is. Grade mean grade. Do you want me to it's sometimes this thing is just so it's remove come in and do this. Talks. Sometimes this thing is very sensitive to some. I may not be downloading one. What's it called? On library. Let me see. Unexpected mean. Okay, American. This one. So let me do something library. Default.na is equals to true. Wait, I'm coming. Let me do this library, another library, tidyverse. Do. Don't run to program. Any argument is non-numerical. This is mean of this number. Okay, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to remove it and I'm trying to calculate it. Seriously, I don't know why it's not working. Let me see the one I did before. Okay, work on that one later on. Normally, what you're supposed to do is it's going to drop this, remove this, and do the calculation of 12, 25, 87, 13, and this 6.89. Josh, I don't know why it's not working here. So, okay, work on it. I'll get back to you next week on this. So let me just write it down. So other things I would like to just point out to you is if you want to sort of, you've created like a data set, you now want to put it in like something like a pivot or like an Excel. How to also have something like that. So it's called data frame, data.frame. In Python, it's called data frame. There is no dot in between. But you need to follow certain formats. Let me see this code that is here. We did here. We did name and score. So if I want to combine this now, no, okay, where is it? Name. Let me say this, Ali. And I say score 1, 2, 3. So I want to combine these two together. if I say C, sorry, C name score, it's going to combine it, but this is not what I wanted. So there is another formula called combine independently. You now say combine independently. You can see it there. So we will now arrange it for us. You can see the difference now between these two and this one. Also, we can also put it in a data frame form. The data. You can see it's looking more neat now. Then if you assign this, let me see, maybe it's gonna work this way. View. You're supposed to do this thing separately, but let me see if it's gonna work. So it does work. So if we assign this now to okay, this has already worked. Things like that. If you now want to see it in form of an Excel, that is good. So you can now put it down, view. Okay, it didn't work this way. Let me just assign this to, let's call it let's call it file. File. So I want to see view profile. You can see the way it's looking now. It's looking more neat. And this looks like your, what's it called? This looks like more or less like your pivot table. So in, what's it called? Let me see, maybe print will work. Print work. It's just print it up. So in, what was it called? In Python, you use print to bring what the variable you've created out. But here, you use your view to get the good part. Okay. What's this thing? So, and you can also do your arranging it up and down by just clicking those buttons there. Okay, so yeah, I want to do it. So on a normal day, what do you call this kind of table in Excel? What do you call this kind of table in Excel? I'm listening. What this kind of table in Excel that is giving like heading, and you know, in Excel there are certain rules you need to follow. Every heading must be unique, unique identifier, all those false nominal values and the rest of it, up to the third one. Do you get? So in Excel, what do you call this kind of table? Anyone? Can you guys hear me at all? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, what do you call this in Excel? When you're doing your converting to tables and trying to do your analysis and the graphical or the visualization in your Excel, what do you call this table? Have you guys heard about pivot table?
Yes.
Pivoted.
Yeah.
Exactly. So because what he's saying here is there is a name and the name is unique and there is a score attached to it. But I can unpivot this table now. Do you get? Because sometimes you need to analyze it that based on you want to pivot the table, and sometimes you want to unpivot this table. So your data frame, you make use of the fact that we combine to pivot a table. And if you get a table that is already pivoted and you want to unpivot it, so there's what we call stack. So now I've gotten this, our table is profile. If I say stack profile, you see what it's going to bring out for us. Can you see? This is the response now. So sometimes you have this thing in an Excel and you just highlight it and you just go to your stuff or right click and now say pivot. But this here you must know the basic syntax to work with. So to pivot a table, you use your data frame, and to unpivot, use your stack. So is that clear? Any question?
No.
Okay. Also, this pivot table now, sorry. This pivot table now, if I want to refer to, I just want it to give me only name. So I can do pivot and now split it using this stuff. You can see me is not giving only two headings, the name and the score. So I can choose on the name and just call for it. Same thing with if I want to go for the score. This is just to differentiate. And I bring it out. So you will be needing this one when you want to do what is called selection. Probably you have a big data and you want to say, please give me name and score when the score is greater than 2, greater than or equals to 2. So that's when you need for you to put it with this is it $sign to just specify, give me the one that is. So at that point you're not going to use your what do they call it? Is it assignment? It's not assignment operator. I think is all this one you do greater than, sorry, sorry, it's not this one. This one is the one I need. What do they call this thing? For equality or something like that. I've forgotten this thing. So is you want to like say, okay, give me value of score that are greater than or equals to. Wait, is this, yeah, greater than or equals to 2? Is this the, so also, the way you bring in, is getting a little bit technical now. The way you bring in, what was it called? Import data from, what was it called? From Excel. You can also do the same thing for R. However, you need to call on to the library. I think there are 2 libraries we need to call to bring in the Excel and the CSV file. So if you have your Excel, what's it called? You have your Excel in your desktop, in your document, or somewhere else on your system, and you want to bring it into R. There are ways you go about doing it. Just like there are 2 ways you can go about doing it. So you can do it by calling on those libraries. So the first one here, which is read R, is for CSV. Why this second one? Why is it not? You know, see this way. Why this second one? Why this second one is for the Excel. So the first one, which is read R, is for CSV file. So you need to put this library, called on this library, into the memory before you can use them. He's already imbued. I don't know why he's always saying this. Call on to. So also you can come here and see your read. You can see the 2 here. Because I've already put it into the memory, it has already checked it. So there are 2 ways you can go about doing it. So you can come to this place, file. Sorry, this place, you see import data. You can see when you bring it, you go and bring in your Excel, you browse to the place, desktop, and you bring it out. And when you're bringing it out, where is it? Where is my desktop? You can even see he's writing the equation for you already. You can see the equation here. Can you see the pop out from my system?
Yes.
Yes. So he's going to even write it out for you. So it will tell you like, see, this is it. The first thing you need to do is call out the library. And the second thing you need to do is, this is the formula to call it out. And for view, before you now get this entire stuff here. So this is just the very fast way of doing it. So we need to go through the little bit hard way. It's not the hard way, but a little bit just hard way. So what you just need to do is, okay, let me send you this. Let me send you this. Sorry. I'm sending you an Excel sheet now. It's called HAR survey. Can you see my screen? The Excel I'm opening.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is who can tell me what's the difference between Excel file and CSV file? As a data analyst, what's the difference between an Excel file and a CSV file? I'm waiting to know. Because you need to know. It's very compulsory. That's you need to know the difference between the two. So you can tell me.
One difference is in Excel, you can have multiple tabs. CSV, you can't have that.
Why
Also,
for
sorry, multiple tabs or sheets in the workbook. Or for CSV, you can't. If you have that and save it, it disappears or something. I think in CSV,
that's just it. So for CSV, you can only have one sheet. For Excel, you can have multiple worksheets. So that's just the difference between the two. And they always use what was it called? So, and that's just a simple difference between the two. So now we're bringing in this Excel. We want to bring it into HAR. So as you bring it into HAR, you need to be very careful on the naming. And if you don't specify, it will automatically just go for the one that is open, not necessarily the first one, the one that was opened before you close it. So the naming parts, you must know it, like, what is the name? Which one should I specify? So that I will know that, okay, is US data I want to bring in? Is UK data I want to bring in? Or is this other one I want to bring in? Is it clear? So what we just need to do here is so we just need to specify, okay, our US, put this data here, now do our read dot you've done this now. You need to go back to your file where you save those files. You right click on it. And when you right click, you see what is called copy as part. If it's on your document or the rest, you can just what's it called? Put this on. Where is it? Personal. You can just come here to, and you see copy parts. I've copied the parts. I'll come here and I'll paste it here. However, you need to change one particular thing. This backward slash, you need to change it to forward slash. And when you see what we're doing here, when we're trying to bring in the Excel, let's see, desktop, You can see it's a forward slash. It's not a backward slash. Very, very, very important, or else it will not work. That's the way it's designed. So you need to change all this on now to the forward slash. And you run it. So you now do your view US. So that's because US. So you can see everything here is US. Everything here is US. Everything here is US. So like I said before, if you now want to call for certain things, you can say your US slash. You can see the list of everything is bringing up for you. So you can specify what you need. Also, if you now want to bring in our UK. If you want to bring in our UK, so I will just copy this part. So let me just copy this entire thing. You need to know the name itself. So let's go back to the Excel and see how is the name written. UK in capital letter. So if you say UK, not the name, let me put this on a small letter so that you not get confused, but read underscore Excel. You now said sheet equals to UK. This is the one you need to specify the uppercase. Okay, let's specify lowercase and see. So you're seeing that UK not found. If I ever put one that is upper and lower, not found. So, but you need to be sure of the name. So when you put it there, it's found this time around. Now say UK. So you need, let's give it view UK. So now is now UK.
Sorry,
So
sorry, I wanted to confirm some. Why do you do it the same way we did the US? Or were you just showing us a different way to?
no, you know, because we have 3 worksheets.
Yes.
If you don't specify, it will automatically go for the one that is open before you close it.
Oh, okay. So that's what you did with the first.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
So now imagine you have series of, and you only need 2 particular ones.
Okay.
So instead of it going back and be putting it, you just specify, go to this sheet, give it to me, and that's all. So any other question? So if you want to do for Nigeria too, let's say this is, let me put it in lowercase, our Nigeria. Our read underscore Excel. Specify, say sheet equals to Nigeria. And if you say view Nigeria, visit. So if you in Python, well, you've not gone into Python. if you now want to get like a summary of all this data for Nigeria, there's what we call glimpse. Glimpse Nigeria. So it will specify for you the respondents is double binary, will give you an highlights, and country is a character. You can also tell him that what is the column number, what is the row number, and things like that. So you just do your n row Nigeria to tell you the number of rows that are there, n column Nigeria to tell you this. So this one is just for you to get an understanding of what is this table all about, if the table is big. Because sometimes you may want to refer to Q1, Q2, and you want to know how it's being spelled. So instead of you going back and be checking, so you can just run this command and you have an understanding of, oh, Q1, Q2, from Q1 to Q6 are all quantitative data, and you can do arithmetic operation on them and the rest of it. So again, there's what we call piping. So let me put this on as it's called piping. So piping is being deformed, what was it called? The connotation for it is your percentage. Is percentage. So this one just means and then. So it just more or less like when you're doing your SQL, you say select name or select first name, last name. Now put from employees. Now put where first underscore name, like maybe just put maybe like we just put AS or something like that. So but for her, so just like an example, but for her, when you're doing something, when you're going to the next page, that's when you now do and then, but you don't use and then, you use this piping. And how was the what was it called? The shortcut for this piping is control plus shift plus M. So if I type my control plus shift plus M, it will just give me everything at once. So where this one becomes handy is I want to do Nigeria, and then I will now do select will not do select Q1, Q2, do you get it? So I can now do and then view. I think you should be able to work here. That I only want to specify, I want to only select 3 columns out of all those columns. So that's when this and then comes in. So you can see some similarity between this programming language. And when you want to terminate in SQL, you use that semicolon. You can see this is more or less like your SQL. And you can see some sort of relationship in what R is trying to adopt to. Also, you can also go further by saying and then this and set filter when Q1 is greater than 4. And then let's view it. So the one we did before was specified. So do you get the logic now? That even after bringing in those data, you cannot just still do your selection by featuring, by specifying, I want this so number of variable from this column, from this and this like that. So you can see that you are narrowing your query down to what you actually wanted. Just like the way you can do the same thing in your SQL. You can also do a similar thing in your R. Any question from here? Hope is not too, doesn't look too jargons. Any question? Or does it look too technical?
Yeah. It looks
I want to-
technical.
It looks technical, and
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. So a little suggestion, which one do you prefer? Do you want us to continue or you want us to hold on till you finish Python? Well, I know it will look a little bit technical, to be very frank. It's the first time we're doing it, it was more gibberish to us. But because we've been exposed to Python and there's some similarities, that's why I keep saying in Python, this is the way it looks. In R, this is the way it looks. So I don't know your suggestion. Do you want to continue with this gibberish and you continue to swallow it like that? Or you ask me to hold on and go back to your probably your Python or something else so that they won't bombard your brain too much. So I'm open to suggestion. Anything you guys give, I'm fine by the way. My own major concern is you have a good understanding about this thing.
Okay, so I think I don't know, it's not really a suggestion, right? But in terms of learning, I was thinking, or my question is around, let's even assume that we continue with learning the R, right? Are we going to eventually work with data? Because for me, I'm looking at it from a point of, okay, we are learning all these commands. What exactly are we going to do with it? So which data are we going to analyze with it? So I guess my question is, are we going to eventually work with data, analyze data, maybe work with case studies? Because beyond just learning so I'm not looking at it from, okay, if you take Excel, for example, right? You have commands in Excel, you have functions in Excel, but at the end of the day, it's working with data, using those functions that it's able to stick and you get a good grasp of what exactly Excel does. So I'm just trying to see, maybe are we going to get to a point whereby we are working with data using some of these commands you mentioned, so it's more clear on what exactly we use R to do? Or is it going to continue this way whereby we keep learning commands? Because I think, just learning these commands is maybe the what's making it technical. I don't know. Probably because I'm still new to it.
Okay, it's fine. So definitely we'll be working with data. And before you go to data, you need to just know some basic fundamentals. And that's what I'm exposing it to. And that's why I hold on to this last importing of this data to the very last thing. Because this is the easiest thing for you to do. But if you don't know the basic of how to do your main, how to like get a summary of these claims and things like that, know the number of your rows, know how to assign variables in this. And if you come across the string, I need to put it in quotation and things like that. You get stuck even when the data comes, and they are now exposing it to you in the middle of all those things you're trying to assimilate. So it's better you start from the basic, exposing you to all those basic tools you need to work with, all this control, all this piping, the view and stuffs. Because at the end of the day, we've imported the data now, which is normal data we're working with. And after we import this data, we've done some few analysis on it. We're going to be going into visualization. Excel has its own visualization. I said Excel R has its own visualization. However, but if you don't know how to bring in this data, how to even narrow this data to certain things that you really want, not the entire data you want. We actually want people that works in probably account department, and you want to do sort of basic analysis on them. And you don't know how to filter it down to these things. It will be very difficult for you to now do your visualization because you've not even know how to filter it down to the basic data sets you needed before going ahead to do your own visualization. So definitely we're going to be working with data, but it's more important to expose you to all these things and stuff that is looking like gibberish or what's it called? Probably Japanese language and things like that. So it all depends on everyone what to agree on. Should we continue, or we want something? We want to be exposed to something that is more interactive, because Python is more interactive in the real sense, because it's using more of your normal English language that you know. But this one is using English language, but it's sort of not that user-friendly. That's just the way I just say it. Once you start analyzing some things and you start seeing the graphical user, or what's it called, the visualization aspect of it, it becomes more clear and more interesting for you. But it now depends on you if you want to go by Python or you want to go by R. So it's left for the team to agree. Should we proceed, or let's put it on hold for now and let's go back to the one we can easily relate with, and we'll put down this one to the very last. I think in our own set, I think R was second to the last and Tableau was the last. So we started from Excel, went to SQL, and went to Python. So when we are doing the Python, I think that's where we spend most of our time. We've already embedded ourselves in it. We started doing some training of data, analyzing those Titanic data sets and things like that. So it's more or less like, okay, we have a good understanding of how this big data work, and something we are now being exposed to, something we see as like a coding, which is not necessarily coding in the real sense. Before we now enter R. At that point, I think we dropped from close, maybe about 20 something, we dropped about 8 when it comes to R, because people doesn't see it very interesting. And people are saying that they don't see more company using R, to be very frank. So, but the point is, some of us want to just have a good understanding about everything. people like me and IG and the rest of the team. So we narrowed down from 20 something to about 8. But it was towards the end of people had been exposed to the about 70% of it, just in HAR. And when Tableau resumed, people just came back, and we went to about 20 something again. Do you get? So it all depends on you. If you've seen it a little bit not too interesting for you, you can put it on hold and continue with the one that is interesting and put this on for the later and things like that. It's fine by me, to be very frank. So it's just the knowledge and the usage afterwards, after learning all this thing, that is more important to me, not being compelling you that you must learn how. So I don't know any other people's, if you have any suggestion, opinion, comment, recommendation, so let's listen to the house. Chinoye, so you can talk and any other person can talk. So let's get people's opinion.
You mean about continuing with R or dropping it and going for Python first?
Anyone. So because I don't know, is everybody okay with it in the first place? Because I mean, I don't want it to look like a gibberish. It will be, let me put it like, it will be very unwise for me to continue and people don't get anything at the end of the day. So the house, what do you think we can do? Should we continue or should we just hold on and move to? You can even go to Tableau, then do your what's it called? Python later after Tableau, then HAR will now be the last thing. As at that time, you'll have be more embedded in wet, as in be more embedded in the analysis aspect of it using big data with Python. So suggestions from anyone, what do you think before we call it a month? Nobody's talking. So let me give it to you. Chinoye.
Okay, so
What do you
I
think?
think no one is talking now, but I would see if I can put up something on the group. I mean, I think if I put a poll, I'll have more people contribute.
Okay, that's fine. So let me just know what they come up with. So maybe you continue.
Okay, I think someone wants to talk.
Okay,
Okay,
fine.
no, I've talked before. I just didn't want it to seem as if I was the only one talking. But again, I mean, if I just feel like if Python is easier and maybe helps in more understanding of R, then we should start with Python before we go to R. That's just my opinion. I don't know what other people think. Because to be honest, what was just going through my mind was like, oh, okay, maybe I'm going to give it a second try. Join next week. If it keeps being complicated, I might have to drop it. That was just what was going through my mind today. But yeah, that's just my opinion.
So it's fine, to be very frank. And my simple suggestion will have been, I don't know. I was thinking if I knew that you've not done Python, I would have insisted that you should go for Python. Because I think with us, Python took us close to about 3 or more than 3 months. So it was more or less like the longest among those videos. And it was comprehensive. So we started from like the very basic. And it was like a build up. So when we now went to HAR, Dr. Francis will now be saying, do you know what you did in Python? This is the HAR aspect of it. We just noticed that people drop from 20 something to about 8. So those are the 8 that are consistent about the HAR, that finish the HAR with us. And when we finish the HAR, we now announce in the group, like we are going to Tableau, everybody just shoot back, pop. We won't blame them because people are saying it, I don't need HAR. But people like us that know that in the long run, I want to go, this is my career path. So I want to do everything. So do you get, so I think for knowledge sake, skills and acquiring the skills, it's better to start with Python and expose everybody to those more details. Then if you now make up your mind that, okay, R, people should still teach R. If you don't, just go to your, what's it called? Go to your Tableau and move on from there. Because basically, R is just for, is more good for research. If you're going to research or consulting, like marketing research and agricultural research, which I'm into and things like that, R is sweet because it gives you more details about those breakdown of all those things. Python may not be able to do something. He's doing it, but he's not giving you the statistical because R is built based on the knowledge at the back of it to analyze statistical the reasons and that's it. So just put it in a group and let people make suggestions, then get back to me during the week. So I know where I stand on it. So thank you everybody for coming to our class today. And thank you for listening to the gibberish. Hope is not too gibberish.
It's not gibberish.
It is for some people, they are seeing it as gibberish. So thank you everyone. So I don't know, I'm trying to access my stuff, but I can't see it again. Is IJ still on the line? Oh yeah, struck off. He's not there. So I wish everybody a lovely week ahead. Just let me know, Chinoye, the outcome of
I will.
the survey
All right, thank
or
you very much.
conclusion of everybody. You have a lovely day. Bye.
All right,
too,
thank
bye.
you. Bye.
Yeah, bye.